Okay. So right now I have basically all of the good weapons already prepared. I have a bunch of jet, some medics, mentats, nuclear quantums, psycho jets, stimpaks, radaways, radexes, a whole bunch of supplies. I've got 3,000.45. It's probably going to end up being used up. I've got 1,200 10mm rounds, probably as a last resort. Actually, did I remove all of my 10mm bullets? Weapons. Oh. Yeah, and then I have 90 of those. I guess that'll be a last resort because of how rare that ammo is. Nearly 6,000 5mm rounds for the minigun, 4,000 fusion cells, 43 fusion cores, 9 mini nukes, 106 missiles, 800 plasma cartridges, which will do very well, 300 railway spikes. So my heaviest weapons have a lot of extra, a lot of capacity. And yeah, all of these now have stuff. Actually, if I'm going to put those in, I may as well put Radaway there. It's more important for me to have easy access to stimpaks because I don't really expect to be irradiated much, but it's there if I need it. Plus these and other stuff. But things like buff jet. I can make two more stimpaks, I think. Can't I? Oh, because I'm out of antiseptic. That's right. Oh, there's two more of those. We could make two of those, but right now having the Med-X as Med-X is more useful. Could also go and build some starch, but there's really no point. Not right now. So let's see. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Desdemona won't let me turn that one in, so I'm not going to be doing any of the other quests. Why does Abernethy Farm have 10 people in it? I guess the slog is still unhappy because of those minigun overlords that were there before. Starlight Drive-In doesn't have any food, but it doesn't need to have food because the people there can eat the food out of like the shared workbenches apparently. Spectacle Island definitely has enough beds and defense. So does Red Rocket. So does Overland Station. Hangman's Alley probably could use having a person taken out of it because there isn't really much room there in the way they've built it to have a lot of beds. And Abernathy Farm also probably has enough beds. So I guess before I go on to the final quest, I could go and do some reflections, like to talk about like where I could do better to make the gameplay more efficient. Right, so the first thing would be to talk about my perks. So strong back is alright. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to hold all of those weapons in my charisma gear without strong back. That's just for the ending. That is primarily for the spray and pray, so that was actually pretty good. You know, like going through this, since I didn't quite have a proper idea of since I didn't have a proper or much of an idea of, or as much of an innate idea of all of these perks. Like I knew about most of them. I knew that was a thing, I knew that was a thing, 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 that was a thing. But I didn't really design these perks, these points, based on the perks that I was going to end up using. I'd say that my perk distribution was pretty good, although I could have used less less intelligence. For most of the runs that I could possibly do, I will only need to go as far as science, and for some of them, for some of them, not sure which ones, but for some of them, science isn't going to really be necessary, and I would only need to go as far as Scrapper. Now, Scrapper has turned out to be pretty beneficial because I've had to the point where I wonder if any of this stuff, like for example, I have a ton of screws and stuff. Do any of these have nuclear material? Maybe these. Yeah, so I have 84 nuclear material, which actually isn't much, but it's still probably more than I would otherwise have. So in doing this again, like if I were to do another completely casual or casual style playthrough, Ninja was pretty good in the early game, but the spray and pray is so powerful that I don't really use Ninja anymore because I don't really do sneak attacks. If I were doing a challenge that involves more heavily use of the sneak attacks, then this would be more important. Action Boy I don't think that turned out to be that necessary. Sneak, of course, was pretty good. I definitely don't regret getting all of these sneak. I probably could have done without commando. Rifleman, yeah, you generally use rifles in sneak mode, so ensuring that the rifle can one-shot people does go a long way. Lone Wanderer really helps by really massively boosting my carry weight. That's turned out to be a lot more necessary than I thought. I started off this playthrough with 1 charisma, and by putting points into charisma, I got all the way up to 6 for that, and I'd say it's well worth it. I also started off with level 5 agility, but it probably would have been sufficient to go with level 3. It would have made my sneak a little bit worse, but yeah, like, since your sneak is apparently worse in power armor and I was sneaking just fine in power armor, I'd say that going up to here would probably be perfectly fine. I definitely could have put 1 less point into perception, because you're basically guaranteed to get the perception bobblehead. So if I were after this, I could have gone up to perception 4. If I were only up to if I didn't need demo expert because of the challenge I'm doing, I could go to level 3 perception. I could have gone up to 5 or 6 int, and then I could have put all of these points into charisma. Yeah. I didn't really go into endurance. It does apparently give you a lot more HP. Like right now I have 200, but you can get up to like 700, I think, by having max endurance. Luck, I'm not really that interested in going into in this playthrough, but some of these do seem to be a good idea in future playthroughs. Okay. And I mean, I probably could have put another perk into strong back, but I mean, it really depends on where I'm, on which strength perks I would be going after. See, heavy gunner is going to help, but for the vast majority of the playthrough, I probably would have been fine going up to level 3 strength. And then these points I could have also put into charisma to help with this. And plus, with having a better distribution of starting points, I would have more points to spend in here. Like, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 16, 20, 22, 24, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 35, 37, 41, 42, 43, 46, 7. So I probably would have had 6 or 7 points that I could have put in extra. Into the various perks. In which case, Hacker would have been pretty good. That would have given me 3. With 3 points, I would be able to hack any terminal, and it would be, in my experience, Locksmith is still better than Hacker, but if you have the ability to do both, you can bypass some of the more damaging enemies, even if they aren't like the strongest, like the bosses and stuff, but they definitely would help. And although some of the challenges will make these points not useful, like for example, in melee only, that would be useless, that would be useless, that would be useless, that would be useless, that would be useless. That would probably be more useful because I could scrap more weapons. And I'm not sure about that. It probably wouldn't hurt. But that would science in a melee only playthrough would be a lot more niche. And so if I were doing a melee only playthrough, that would give me at this point 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 15, something like 10 perks. No, 18, 19, 19 perks that I could put elsewhere. Combined with the fact that in melee only I only need to go up to here. Strong back It was only useful because I started off at 5 strength, and I could get bobblehead to get it to that. But I probably would have been able to do fine without it, especially considering that I only recently got strong back. So those 19 points, I could have... Big leagues is basically the equivalent of that, so it would have been 14 points left. I could have put more into medic, but I would probably end up finding as much stim packs as usual. Mr. Sandman is apparently only for silenced weapons, so it wouldn't actually help with melee only, but ninja would help. Yeah, I don't think you can pacify with melee weapons, but I would have easily been able to get into hacker, into blacksmith. And then I probably would have had points to go into luck. Like in another melee or sort of melee only playthrough, I mean, it was actually no guns. So he allowed mines and grenades, but he also made use of better criticals, critical banker, Grim Reaper's sprint, and maybe one of these, maybe 4-leaf clover. But I definitely remember him doing a lot of critical hits and banking them a lot. I mean, I guess I could also put points into endurance just to have more health in a melee only playthrough, as well as life giver. Like if I have max endurance, my health is going to increase so much that life giver isn't as useful. But yeah. And I also have planned playthroughs where cap collector is going to be vital. And probably fortune. Nah. I guess scrounger maybe, depending on how I do it. Okay. Now, I don't really regret going through and getting a ton of these settlements. A bunch of these settlements I never actually got, such as Covenant, which is a settlement you can get, Taffington Boathouse, there's a settlement around here somewhere apparently. Maybe it's around here. I think there's one over here, one over here. Where else? There's apparently a settlement right here that I just barely missed obtaining, but right now I don't really need to go there. So one of the reasons why I went through and did a bunch of these settlements was because it enabled me to have things that I could do off camera, because from starting this game it didn't feel like quite enough to only play it a few hours a day, but I think I've played enough of it such that I'm pretty fine to only do it for some hours a day. But since I can't really do off-camera stuff if I'm doing a challenge, because like let's say I'm doing melee only, if I do stuff off camera, there's no way to know that I'm not like using guns everywhere, like during these settlement things. Like for example, when those super mutant overlords with miniguns attacked the slog off camera, I could have been like, oh, this is off camera, so it's fine if I pick up that minigun and destroy the rest of them with a minigun. Granted, in a melee only playthrough, my character won't really be set up for using guns, but still, even though it's not a thing that I would probably want to do, it's a thing that could happen, and it would leave doubt in the playthrough. And it's not really that interesting to go through and scrap a bunch of things. So unless I'm doing a playthrough in which these settlements are going to be vital, for example, if I were to do an explosives only playthrough, it would really help to get the artillery. So I could put artillery stations in a whole bunch of places, like here, 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 here. Basically everywhere there's a settlement. Like that one, which would be helpful, and that one which would do a wide area around here. Probably less useful on this, but can't hurt. So I do plan on doing an explosives only playthrough, and in that playthrough I will be going through and getting as many of these settlements as possible. I could possibly do covenants if I get Taffy in the boathouse and then use the artillery on it. Yeah, unless I decide to side with Covenant, which I probably won't, but nah. So yeah, it could be interesting in a explosives only playthrough to get all of the all of these settlements that I can. Apparently the Ats and Cats area is also a settlement, or has potential to be a settlement, but I don't know, yeah. So that would be an interesting idea in an explosives only playthrough. So I could, at that point, have enough time with explosives lights playthrough to go through and re-obtain some of these settlements that I wouldn't have obtained in a while, and do their quests like that and whatever. And the quests for stuff like Oberland Station and Abernathy Farm, and any quest where they're like, oh, I need you to go into this area and kill everything there. Those are apparently random. But the ones that aren't random are things like Grey Garden, which always gives you this quest. Any settlement where you just need to kill all the enemies, like this, Taffington Boathouse, Crouch Manor, Spectacle Island, which requires a bit more than killing enemies, but it's still always the same way to get it. And Hangman's Alley. Those are always consistent, but these ones are always a little bit different. But in the other playthroughs, I'm still going to be scrapping Sanctuary and getting as much as I can get out of it. I'm still going to be doing Red Rocket. Still going to get possibly do the castle, because I guess doing the castle with, especially the Milo Queen with a weapon or whatever restriction, would be interesting. Spectacle Island is pretty big. Hangman's Alley is quite useful, but I wouldn't necessarily need to go and get Oberland Station, Grey Garden, County Crossing, Finch Farm, The Slog, Greentop Nursery, Ten Pines Bluff, unless it's for the main Minuteman quest. But other than that, once I unlock the castle, I wouldn't need to do any more settlement stuff. So I'd have a few settlements around here, then I'd have the castle, and then you don't really need to get any other settlements to get Old Guns. In my playthrough, Old Guns started after just having done the castle. But a lot of my other future playthroughs are going to be more light on the settlements. Home plates turned out to not be that useful in this playthrough. I mean, I guess in survival, having a free bed is definitely useful. Like a bed in Diamond City that you can sleep in for free, basically. Well, it costs you a finite money. Over the course of the game, though, you probably wouldn't sleep in it enough to warrant it, but It'd be useful. And then there is one playthrough that I plan on doing in which home plate is going to be very important. In fact, I'd say that it would be so important that rushing there that rushing to home plates and rushing to buying it would definitely be useful. And probably doing all the Minuteman quests and Radiant quests and whatnot would be helpful in that playthrough as well. But that playthrough idea is sort of a weird type of playthrough. And it's something that I haven't heard of being done by the two main people that I know that do Fallout 4 challenges. Probably because of how weird it is. Like most challenges that I've seen in this game involve restricting how you can attack, restricting your defense, or something to do with limiting your survivability, like no healing or permadeath or whatever. And then there's things like no HUD, no Pip-Boy, but I guess that playthrough that I'm thinking of would be quite different. And if somebody else does that sort of playthrough first, it's no big deal, it's just something that I would be interested in doing. Now, in terms of settlement building, this settlement isn't that far off being max size. But if I was to do the settlements again, I probably wouldn't be using these small squares and floating shacks, because that tends to max out the settlement size pretty quickly. That there was just to dick around, and same with that and that. But for example, these railings here are not as efficient when for half the size I could have put this one in. Right, so this is 1 for 2 units, whereas this is 2 for 2 units. And then there's also the thing where I can put houses on the ground rather than in the sky. Like having them in the sky, for the most part, it just means that it takes a while until I decide to put this in, it takes a while to go from down there to up here. And it would probably be very helpful to have these crafting stations right next to the fast travel target, so that once I clear an area, I fast travel back and then I don't have to walk that far. Because there may be times, firstly it just means I'd have to run this distance. You know, it's just a little bit of minor help, but there's also the fact that sometimes I walk back in and the thing that I use to have enough carry capacity to teleport has worn off, so I can't actually run there. So I'm like, I think it's about this. Like, so burdened. So yeah, ideally, I think if I put a actually I should probably, for the sake of example, I should probably put the railings in first. Does it fit there? No, so I'd have to put that in there and... Oh, I can't walk off. At least not in power armor. So I warp in and I'm right there. Then I have, let's say I put things right here. So I'll put a armor workbench. I guess that can be put closer to there. So I warp in. I guess I can't immediately. Oh, I would, yeah, okay, so I warp straight in. I can transfer without moving, so if I'm overburdened it doesn't matter. And then it's not much of a walk to go and scrap some of the weapons which give good scrap. I find that the weapons that have a lot of modifications give a lot more scrap than weapons that are completely stock. And then I'll be able to scrap any armor. And yeah, like one of the reasons why I started off with putting stuff up there was because it does look quite weird if I have on uneven ground, I have like a shack, like just right there, a shack. Because it's floating, right? It looks completely weird. But if, oh, it's on the floors. Yeah, the shack foundation. So I could put a shack foundation, another shack foundation. Does it? Yeah. It probably won't let me put it there because of the wire, but I can basically lay down the shack foundations in order to get around the unevenness and make things look proper, and then just manually build the walls and stuff. I also probably didn't need to build separate houses for people. Like, I mean, the settlements that you get have multiple people in a room anyway, like this here. I guess this is the only example of there being multiple people sleeping in a room. Like Junlong, who is naked for some reason. And random set lane, of course, the gear. But I mean, I've been giving them these beds because they look the most comfortable. If I go furniture beds, like this one is a dirty bed, this is a cleaner bed. I mean, I guess these are small and also look pretty clean. Although that also does look quite a bit like a prison bed. You've got like just the mattress. And then just the sleeping bag. Like the sleeping bag also looks pretty dingy. So yeah, those beds definitely look the cleanest. And granted, there's no like sheets or quilts or whatever, but you don't really have the option of making stuff like that. And plus the sleeping bags aren't that much smaller that it's worth it to go down. The main thing is to have beds and to have the beds undercover. Like I guess putting beds right here would work, but I'm not sure about that. I don't quite know the logic behind whether a bed is undercover. Like, would that count as undercover? Do those count as undercover even though there's a bunch of holes in them? And whatnot. But regardless, doing stuff like that, it would firstly use less resources, secondly it would not increase the settlement size as much. And thirdly, I could probably have it be more effective with going from there to, like, say, the crops. As for using the building as a tool to specifically grind for experience, which I showed off in I showed it off in the last stream, where you basically put down a bunch of items and then you scrap them, and you build them, you scrap them, and then you repeat until you're wherever you need to be. Most of my playthroughs are not going to warrant that, because you do get enough XP from killing things, from crafting. Like, more than anything else, the way that I have farmed experience has just been getting the potatoes, the corn, the mute fruit, and crafting, and the water, and crafting starch. And I guess some stuff in here as well led to some experience gain as well. But for the most part, experience gain from this here is negligible, that actually gave a good amount of experience. I'd say maybe 5 to 10% of my experience came from cooking starch. And then probably another 5 to 10% came from building, but that building wasn't of the grindy sort, it was just actually building proper stuff like that, and like the lighting up of the settlements. And strictly speaking, I don't have to light up the settlements, but it makes it feel like I'm taking the wasteland back into modern times. I mean, granted, this looks like a randomly put together shack. In fact, it almost looks like it's put together out of some welded together pieces. But I can't build up this high because the height limit is about there, which is why I haven't put a bed up here or a light up here or anything like that. But I mean, for example, this here definitely is a shack foundation. Not foundation, shack stairs. So I mean, I guess having prefabs like this does reduce the size of this on disk. So rather than having this thing, that 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 thing, this thing, this thing, this thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, that thing, and so on. Rather than having that, it's one whole structure, which would reduce the size, at least the memory size, somewhat. But it seems like the size is somewhat arbitrary because it seems like some of the items contribute more than others. Like when I did that thing where I plonked down a bunch of wire fences to show off the experience grinding, it started to make the frame rate drop quite a bit. And yeah, in a game like this where you can just build stuff, or even if I somehow got every last pre-war money out of the Commonwealth and then just farmed it until I had like 100,000, and then I was going to my Pip-Boy and can't show it off with that. But if I have like 6 or more, so you say with the jet, it says how many to drop. If I was to drop the lots, it would be one item that is a stack of 31. But I could say drop one, and so on, and yeah, it would be different. They would appear as different items. So I could do that and lag out the game that way as well. And also there's a synth component. Yep. But yeah, so well, there's a dangerous look about you because you're stark naked. Because you have a single piece of armour. Oh dear. I probably could have gotten all the apparel out of the Institute and then given them that. Would have removed their over armour, but at least they wouldn't be naked. So I feel like I've been blabbing on long enough. There's really no reason not to go straight into the Institute and then to do the thing where I complete the game and whatnot. I guess I could have repaired my power armor, but I should probably do a quick check. Yeah, it's basically full health. Oh.
Why can't a Sith be a person too? I don't really see the difference.
Oh, you're Benet. Bye, everybody. Okay.
Nice work bringing that rogue synth back.
We will fight for our freedom. We will.
Yeah.
Is it time? Once we act, we have commitment. There will be no going back.
It's time.
It's time. Good. But we need to clear this room before I can do more.
Okay, so yes, I need to kill everybody in here. You should probably get back because my gun shoots explosions, but okay.
Please give me a few moments.
Okay. Ooh. Wait, what am I doing? I don't need that stuff. Probably only the ammo will help. Yeah. Like, I don't plan on scrapping this stuff or using it for anything. Hi, everybody.
If they're not already on to us, they will be. 'Cause 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 'cause
What's this? Oh.
Tinker Tom's
Oh, that.
take out the reactor and anything else within a few hundred yards.
I feel like it's going to do more than that, but sure.
You plan, and we run by count. When we get to a safe distance, we detonate the mission. Then the whole institute comes. And the synth goes dead. Forever. This is the moment. We send out anyone to come on. Institute personnel.
Yes. Oh, now I have to go through here. Yeah, Silver Shroud radio found.
I somehow thought the technology here was more impressive.
It's more impressive inside. You just need to get past this old area. Oh. Gotcha. Yes. Who needs killing? Oh. Ooh. Okay. And there we go. I'm doing the opposite of using stealth. So yeah. That'll be good. That'll be good. I don't think any of these... Yeah, no, if there was a legendary it would say... wait, what? Oh, that was one of those dudes. Okay. Let's go in. Oh. Peekaboo. What's in here? Eh. And now we're in bioscience. And yeah, we're now in this room that was kind of old. So I guess they had to, you had to move those things out of the way. Hi everybody! I'm back! Oh, wait. Do this. Oh. I thought I could do that. Hold on. Does this allow me to load? There we go. There we go. Don't think there's any specimens and I don't need to unlock the door. Oh, there's a legendary. Wait, so where was the legendary? Oh. Actually, I'll take the missile, but nah. What's the other one? Is that it? I feel like there's one more. There's a synth somewhere. Oh, you're an institute scientist. Okay. And there's nothing there because I already destroyed them. You're fine, Mr. Scientist. I think it's just the Brotherhood that would have a reason to kill all the scientists. I don't know if they actually do, but... there we go. Gotcha. Sorry, Des. Oh. Did I kill? I mean, you were using a 10mm pistol? Oh. Yeah, okay, he's fine. We all good? Nope, more people. Wait. Oh, whoops. There's a hostile. It's like, oh, I choose a guy on the same team as me. Whoops.
You can hear me? I got the floor plan.
Sweet.
Advanced Systems Lab. That's where the reactor is, and where you gotta go. The doors are locked, and I can't override from here. That command has to come from the director's personal terminal. You understand? You've got to do that part yourself.
Okay. So I've got to go through this area. Wait. Oh. Gotta push the button. There we go. That's still inaccessible. There's like a few items in there, but I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if it can. I don't think you can ever get inside this. But if that box there has stuff in it, I said this about Fort Hagen, but apparently that room I thought you couldn't get into was the boss room. But yeah, hi there.
I didn't expect to see you.
Good for you. Go. Oh. And I want to engage in an emergency protocol. There we go.
And you decided this for yourself? Or has it been fed to you by the corrupt societies of the world? It's not enough that I lay here destroying everything. Tell me that. Under what righteous pretense have you justified this atrocity?
It's for the greater good. The Commonwealth deserves to choose its own fate.
Spare me. You've spent time. You know as well as I. You will accomplish your task and ruin humanity's best hope for the future. The only question left then is why you're standing here. Is it a threat? Or did you just come to blows?
I wanted to see you last time.
Get out of here.
Hell yeah! Access granted. I should be able to reach the
You first.
Sets are pouring through up here. But we won't leave without you. Don't worry.
Oh. Wait, can I not? I'll take your clothing though. Okay. Alright. Yeah, I want to go downstairs and enter advanced systems. Hello. I see you. Wait, what? Oh. Hi! Robotics.
Please proceed to your assigned evacuation point. Thank you for your cooperation.
Oh, you got him. Yeah, none of these were legendary by the looks of it. Nope. Yeah, you should.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Anybody else want some? Yes, I could read Lee's terminal now if I wanted to. Oh, Wallace. Yeah, you should leave.
Please proceed to your assigned evacuation point. Thank you for your cooperation.
You should have left. Yeah, nothing in there. Okay. Let's continue on. Yeah, you should leave. Seems like T.S. Wallace is only hostile to me. But, well, he wanted to be a hero, so he got to die as one. Seems I'm gonna complete this without. Oh dear. Whoa, what the fuck? Wait. There we go. That was a bit weird. Okay. Plus these things, well, the laser turrets have fusion cells, I guess, but the other turrets only have whatchamacallit. Now there's a missile launcher person in there, but oh dear. Can I shoot through this? Yeah. Whoop. Are you alright there? The fuck? Oh, that's somebody's flamer. Hold on. What is the Harbinger? Gonna quick save and then gotcha. Oh, that, yeah. I shouldn't have moved back. I kind of nuked everybody. Oh. That was surprisingly easy. Yeah, so there was a ghost rifle. Somewhere over here. Oh, that was the ghost rifle person. So there was 2 legendaries in here. Ah! A single piece of one of the dudes. I don't even know what part that is. And A1 was over here. Seeker. Where was he? Ah! Powerful lead pipe. Targeting quad barrel, yeah. I already have one of those. Ah, there it was. Okay. There we go. Yeah, you're downed. Can I stimpack you? No. Okay.
We're all done, Tom. Let's get out of here while we can.
With the boss. He says he's the professor's son.
Don't leave me here. I want to go with you. Please proceed to your assigned evacuation.
Sure.
All right. Come with me.
Really? You mean it?
On second thoughts, nah, I mean it.
Now let's get out of here.
I'm glad you were here to save me.
Okay. Whoa.
You just take care of the reactor.
Attention all personnel.
Oh dear.
Evacuation order issued. Authorization 111R31. Please proceed to your assigned evacuation point. Thank you for your cooperation.
All right, Tom. Fire it up.
You got it. Okay, you said it right. We're ready to get out of here.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's get the hell out of here.
Well, he's right. So I'll get to take you and Des to the detonation site. And I'll rig it to send you and the kid here back to HQ right out. Don't worry, we'll look after you. Get into that abode too. Let's go before this whole place goes dumb on me.
Sure.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay. So that there is roughly where the crater will be. It's a nice, peaceful, sunny day. Wait. Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be buildings over there. But oh, I probably could have taken pot shots at Swan. Those going doink, doink, doink.
This is the first time my
Nobody's gonna believe it. I was actually inside the institute.
I believe you. Now it's Green Tech Genetics, where I destroyed the Corsa. I think that there might be Trinity Tower. Yeah, I can't fast travel, which is fine. It'd be funny if I could. Oh yeah, I guess there is a bunch of open area over here. Like a small town over there. Yep, you already said that. That's Boston Airport and the destroyed Pridwin. There's the castle, or a very low res version of it. But oh, that looks funny. But it is surprising that I can actually see, unless they just stuck a block in there for whatever reason, I can see one of the things that are built in there even from all the way over here. Which means that there is Spectacle Island. May as well get that fire out of the way. Oh yeah, Bunker Hill's right there. Can I see? I don't know if there's supposed to be a lake in there. So, either this is still in interior mode, or everything here is a little low res than I remember because of what's going to happen next. Well, I think by now I can safely say that Tinker Tom and Sean have escaped the Institute. I believe you. Okay, so oh, you go. Boom. Yeah, clearly nobody died. Clearly nobody was killed in that explosion. Everybody in Hangman's Alley is okay.
I can feel it wash over me. The heat, the force, the radiation, fear. It's the end of the world all over again. I close my eyes. I see my life before all of us. Before the bombs. Everything can change in an instant, and the future you plan for yourself shifts, whether or not you're ready. At some point, it happens to all of us. This wasn't the world I wanted, but it was the one I found myself in. The Commonwealth. My home. Ripped apart and put back together. I hoped I could find my family, cheat time, make us whole again. The way we were. But now I know. I know I can't go back. I know the world has changed. But the road ahead will be hard. This time, I'm ready. Because I know war. War never changes.
Taglines. Taglines never change. Okay.
Desdemona.
Dozens of years, countless sacrifices. It all paid off, thanks to him. Deacon says this was his plan all along.
Another one of their lies.
It's almost comforting to know something has changed.
Yeah.
It's gone by when the last thought about life without the Institute. We recognize how the world didn't end here. Hate runs deeper than the soul. To them, synth of the living embodiment of the Institute's oppression. I'd understand if you want a much needed vacation. But I'll do up to the next mission for this.
Okay, let's see, what is it?
Nothing else. Our safe houses will be bursting with sins, seeking a better life outside the Commonwealth. Not everyone in the Institute died. We'd be foolish to think there won't be retaliation. Come back to the HQ and leave the lasting legacy of freedom.
Boom!
Rest your message with you for a bit, please. You don't have to.
We'll protect them. Road's safe.
Now that the Institute isn't in the state, or the railroad's job is over, a lot of work ahead.
Hold on a sec. Yeah, fuck it. Let's be a bit more charismatic. Oh, another Mila. Oh. I failed the Mila?
Now, just breathe.
Gen 1s for Randolph Safecom.
Randolph is still operational. Finally, some good news. We thought they were another casualty of the Squid protest. But Randolph's been dark, too. It'll be controversial, but we have to put them in forward.
Sure.
That's your call.
It is. We'll play it slow and safe, and make sure that our people before we bring them back to the fold. Our only communication with Randolph will be by dead. Check in periodically with Drummond. He coordinates the dead watch.
Okay. Hey. Yeah, okay. Now can I jump off? Whee! Yeah, it doesn't quite say why it failed, but I mean, there's another one. If I were to be a completionist, I would aim to have it so that the only quests in here are the Radiant quests. Because with the Radiant quests, they're basically quests that reappear and reappear and reappear. And yeah, that there still looks the same. Okay. And yeah, I finished the run at level 55. If a challenge restricts the amount that I can kill, then I would probably imagine that I'll finish it at a lower level. So it looks like everything here is fine. I mean, I do need to build another bed. Oh, they're fine. And now there's 2 people. I guess the other person left because they didn't have a bed. But yeah, like these floors I had to put in because, I mean, I guess I could put a 2x2 here, but and here as well. But other than that, I guess it would have trouble clipping. But yeah, I should probably use more of these. So everything here seems to be fine. So I only used 1,000 bullets. Well, I mean only 1,000, but still only 1,000. I never used that. I don't think I used that, or that, or that, or that. Honestly, it would probably be better to be loaded to the brim going into the Brotherhood rather than going into the Institute. It's amazing that these people survived. Yeah, I think that's all of them. Okay. But I mean, I guess the blast was mainly held in by the sheer weight of the rock around it. Wait. Who's that? Oh, that's a Brotherhood of Knights. Huh. Take that. Oh. Whoops. Gotcha. Oh, jeez. So it seems like the first time you go over here, there's a red storm. What's this? Oh, that's Polymer Labs. So the hole is basically like that big. And the only way to have that hole not appear is to back the Institute. Although maybe the Brotherhood don't nuke it, I don't know. But oh look, that collapsed into there. I guess it's over now. There's probably less radiation here. Granted, I'd probably guess that all the I guess there's all dudes over here. It's having trouble rendering the minigun. Oh, well done. Your reward is death. The fuck? Bye. I punched my way to another level. Yeah, so I guess Aqua Boy would be useful if I wanted to explore the oceans. But then I have to get like 5 endurance, yeah. Sure. That's one of the guys. You know what? Oh well. Yeah, you got to get a pretty good angle and preferably be high up in order for the oh. The hell? Wait. The fuck? Huh. Plus, I guess there's a bed right here, right next to the stuff. I don't know if I can actually sleep while under a radiation though. But that's fun. You can camp out next to the radiation, just soak it all up. Oh, I think that's part of the cabot quest, maybe. Okay. So yeah, that concludes Squid Plays Fallout 4. I guess I could travel to the railroad, see what they're after. Oh, Raintop Nursery, eh?
You know that vertibird from Red Glare? Well, Tom and the boys fueled it up and it's ready. Just throw this, pick you up. Tom will start stocking signal grenades too.
Oh! Okay. Good for you.
Good. We're here. With the Institute. We're secretly securing key locations to speed up transporting synth back to the commune. We gotta take this slow and steady, so once they're out, they're safe for the rest of their lives.
Where's the hard part over?
A raiding bullet can kill someone just as easily as a force and transport. Well, kill someone else at least. I swear you're unexpected. Ham or Carrington undoubtedly useful. No rest for the wicked.
Yep.
The railroad took out the grid. Nobody believes it.
I mean, surely the railroad would know what the railroad does. Surely. But, eh. Hmm. Yep. So you're Deacon. So yeah, now that we finished the quest with the railroad, we get the signal grenade so that we can fly around. They're more useful in survival mode, but then again, in survival mode, if you consider a game done and dusted once you've finished it, then it's only useful if you back the Brotherhood, since you get the relay grenades in the Brotherhood as soon as you join up with the Pridwin. So you'll take a Tom.
Hey,
Okay.
Doc.
What we've accomplished. What we accomplished. Our work is done. Despite Tom's best efforts, we simply transported too many people out of the Institute too quickly. A sizable number of synths and other refugees were teleported near land. These poor, disoriented souls make easy targets for bigots and others. Hopefully, we'll find time for resting on their laurels ahead of the synth as we capture.
Rescuing synths. What I
I figured you'd say something. Once you liberate the synth, give them this care package. It'll direct them to bunker with the processing. Good luck.
Yeah. Oh, Scrap Palace. But yeah, so like there was a ton of synths and whatever in the Institute, so yeah, he basically gives me Radiant synth rescuing quests. I swear Scrap Palace is around here. Oh, I guess I need to select it, yeah. Oh, it's right next to that area, eh? I probably need to kill that thing again. So I'll do this and then I guess I probably should have an intermission. That puts me right outside. Wait, so what else is... Oh. Yeah, I should do that. I guess because it was auto-saving. What? For some reason that let me fast travel there. Okay. Yeah, so most weapons do ballistic and energy damage, but a few weapons do radiation and poison. Mainly poison damage is done by oh, that got him. Where's the other dudes? Oh, well. Oh my god, a legendary. Oh dear. There we go. Ghouls. Oh, thanks for that. Okay. I mean, yeah, I guess you do sometimes get... Oh, that's probably just bugs. Huh. Oh. Granted, this isn't the weapon to be doing that with, but sure. Hey, Miller. Okay. Now let's go over to here. Okay. Yeah, the things are back. Anybody else? No? I'm going to quick save and then I'm going to see what it's like to take out that Deathclaw on my own, because I think he's also respawned. Yeah, there's a glue. Bye! Granted, he didn't last that long, but sure. Oh. So I'm under a bunch of drugs, but not under an addiction, which is good. So yeah, let's show off this quest. Okay. Oh. So that's a Primus. Oh, and he's dead. But there's a suicider somewhere. Oh. Oh, fuck. Oh my god. Oh. Actually. Oh. It might destroy the synth. Oh. Oh, that's my missile launcher. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Okay, now I've got him. Oh. Gotcha. Yeah, if I want to do this before the end, then I guess the stuff would be good, but... Huh. I mean... Yeah, if I were to do the, there we go. Hello.
Take this and leave.
Zeke already told you about it. They're safe.
Yeah, and then just report back to Carrington. But I mean, super mutant areas do tend, like Death Claw Hand, Upper Skull, seem to be two. Oh, that must be the bottom one. Which don't normally have stuff in them, but yeah. So if I got that in I guess I'll talk about that playthrough more. I get into it. Like, I definitely want to do a melee only playthrough, and I definitely want to do at some point a survival mode playthrough. But I wouldn't want to do a survival mode playthrough straight after this one. I want to get some other challenges out of the way, and then the relative normalcy of survival mode will be like a breath of fresh air before I get into the really weird challenges and whatnot. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so I don't think I've gotten any addictions out of that. So yeah. Actually, I may as well go through some of the challenges that... Oh. Huh. I guess those things only do damage to you. Either that's or they make a noise which reveals you. Don't think I've seen anything blow up from this. So, you know, I guess it's supposed to be represent you going... So yeah, the next challenge that I want to do is melee only. Yeah, melee only. Vault weapons only. So that means that challenge is completing the game using only the weapons you get inside Vault 111. And inside Vault 111 there's apparently 2 security batons and 2 10mm pistols. I can also use fists, and there is also the cryolator, which I can use, because that is also, even though I would have to return to Vault 111 to be able to get that, it still counts because it's in the vault. Then there's regular survival mode. Then there's a playthrough which I'm calling Pretty Boy, because basically the idea behind Pretty Boy is he starts off with 10 charisma, 10 luck, and all the other points you can dump go into endurance. But firstly, he must have maximum permanent charisma, which means that if I were Nipple Boy, no, if I were Pretty Boy, but he's going to be called Nipple, he would have to wear, at this point, the sharp arms, pompadour wig, fashionable glasses, and the red dress. If I were to get so right now I have 2 charisma arms, and that is a charisma leg. If I were to find another charisma leg, then I would be allowed to remove the red dress, put on a different undergarment, and then I would still have 2 charisma, but rather than from the dress, it would be from my legs, and then I'd be able to have another chest plate on. And then if I were to find a chest plate that gives me +1 charisma, I would have to wear that. And then I wouldn't be allowed to wear the dress anymore, because that would actually reduce my charisma. Which basically means doing the game with not much armour. Like these things I would be able to modify. Like right now they're ultra light because I don't want them to take much weight in my inventory, but I could have also made them shadowed or made them something else. And if these are both leather, so if I were to find a sharp metal or a sharp combat armour, sharp heavy combat armour, then I would have to wear that. Or no, then I would be able to replace it with that and then get more armour that way. Yeah, so now do I? No, okay. No addictions. As a result, I think any addiction let's see if that's the case. So right now the easiest way to get an addiction is to... Okay. So now I have an addiction. I guess I need to wait for the jet to go down. Yeah, okay, agility -1. So jet addiction doesn't seem to give me minus... Maybe if I take all these drugs, I'll get addicted to something else. Is it possible to get addicted to Radex? Probably not. Like the reason why I'm thinking about how to reduce my charisma is because if I can easily reduce my charisma early on in the game, which some drug addictions will apparently cause me to have reduced charisma. The drug Daddy-O also reduces charisma, and I've heard that an Excel addiction also reduces charisma. Okay. Yeah, that gives me +3 charisma. But since it's +3 charisma for a short time, I wouldn't need to take Day Tripper immediately. And like if my character found the laundered blue dress first, he'd have to wear that. And I guess you find summer shorts pretty easily, so yeah, pretty quickly. That's the sentinel arm. If I could. Yeah, there's nothing in there. Maybe in the workbench there'll be something. Who knows? Weapons. So there's artillery smoke grenades. No, just stuff from the farm. There we go. So I guess the alcohol addiction will come up when I'm not under the influence of it. Yeah, I'm very thirsty, Mr. Cosworth. And it's worn off. Oh. Haven't quite gotten my alcohol addiction yet. I guess I could wait for it to kick in, because I think you only have addictions when you're not under the influence. So let's give it 6 hours, see if that is enough to have 5 alcohols or 6 alcohols exit my system. Yeah, so the alcohol's worn off. Okay. Okay, so they're both agility -1. So what that means is the only way of getting my charisma down artificially for the trick is to get addicted, as far as I know, it's to take Daddy-O, or to take XL and get an addiction. Now there's a source of XL somewhere over there in one of these buildings. It's in Concord somewhere. But I'm not exactly sure how the chem addictions work. Like, it might be this building that has it. I don't think it's in this. No, that's just regular stuff. That's ordinary stuff. Ugh. I definitely remember the thing being around here. No, I can't enter that. Strange. But maybe there's a Concord speakeasy. Maybe that's the room I'm thinking of. It's just that those things don't show up on the on the radar. So that's the Museum of Freedom. Oh, these guys have respawned as well. Okay. Is it this? Yeah, that's it. Okay. And I also don't know if the XL respawns. Oh, it does. And then there's like a knife in there. Oh. So, I'm going to quick save. Probably leave this. There you go. Because there's going to be a few chairs around here. Huh. So XL has worn off. And I'm not addicted. Okay. So it seems to be that taking it in a rogue seems to cause an addiction, but what I'm not sure is there we go, I have an addiction to XL. Okay, and then I can so that shows that it's random because I reloaded and that time it did. Oh. So by having a bunch of addictions, that drops my charisma. Huh. Okay. Oh, there's some day tripper. I mean, sure. Now I have a theory that drinking alcohol removes the effects of a addiction. See, right now I have an alcohol addiction. if I then Earls to Gwyneth Stouts. Okay. Yeah, so it temporarily gets rid of the addiction. Okay. So the alcohol addiction on its own seems to only drop my charisma by -1. No, it seems to only drop my agility by -1. But still, I should be able to find enough jets, buff out Psycho, and Excel, and alcohol in order to get... I'll have to research this, but it's looking like I have enough... There's enough stuff close by such that I am capable of dropping my charisma by 1. So that I can get charisma 11 from the thing. Now, based on one of the things to do with the Pretty Boy, I guess you could call it a build. One thing to do with that is I have to do the Cabot quest, because in the Insane Asylum there is the Charisma Bubblehead. And then I also have to get the Luck Bubblehead from Spectacle Island. So the idea behind Pretty Boy is that he's got maximum charisma, but also he he's like compensating with his lack of everything else by sheer luck, which is why his luck is also at 10. And then endurance is where the rest of the points go, because I figured that was the probably the most useful. Like, strength will give me more carry weights, perception improves that, endurance gives me more health, this gives me more XP, and this gives me more sneak. So since Pretty Boy is going to be pretty weak because his armor is restricted, then I guess that would be the most useful place to put the rest of them. But I mean, he's only going to be able to put a few points into here anyway. And then that's that. And then after that is an idea I had in which the starting point is completely randomized. So what I do is I pick a perk in here, like at the very start I pick a perk in here, and let's say it randomly picks charisma. Then I pick a random number between 1 and 10, and that's the amount of charisma I get. And then I do the same, randomly pick between the special stats that aren't charisma, point random number of points in there, and then each time I level up, the points that I put it into is going to be randomized. So let's say for example, 7 points go into charisma, and then the next time I level up, it randomly puts it into animal friend. Well, then I have to put it into animal friend, and then I guess I'd run around pacifying animals. And then I basically have to do the play style based on I'd have to do the play style based on the whatever points I put into. And there's a chance that it could put a point into something that's not useful to me. Say, for example, Vans, which when you have a Pip-Boy and a compass, Vans is not useful at all. Or it could potentially put it into Locksmith or into Hacker. And then so on. The next challenge idea that I had was to I'm not sure how good this is going to be, but the general idea is to use only Codsworth as a source of damage. So, since he can't attack other people himself, and he can't even use stuff like Pain Train and Nuclear Physicist 3. He has to rely on Codsworth, which means this is going to be very useful, and then I guess that would be kind of good as well. Hey WPC. I recently destroyed the Brotherhood. And I'm just going over some of the future playthroughs that I'm planning on doing. So yeah, Inspirational will make Codsworth do more damage. That is always useful. That would be useless because I basically need to have Codsworth all the time. Endurance at 10 is going to be useful to give me more health, to counteract the fact that I can't attack. And I guess things like that would be good. Well, that would probably be pretty good. Anything that makes me stronger, like that would probably be more worth it than gun nuts, which I can't use due to not using weapons in that playthrough. And yeah, then the one after that is explosives only, which means that I'm only allowed to use the grenades excluding the I'm not sure if I'm going to include or exclude the Molotovs. But also mines, the Fat Man, as well as any legendary variants of the Fat Man. And the missile launcher, as well as any legendary variants of that. It's just stuff. Okay. But the explosives only playthrough would allow legendary variants of the Fat Man and the missile launcher, but anything with the explosive prefix, for example the spray and pray, which on every bullet impact it causes an explosion, that would not be allowed, otherwise the game would be probably too easy. So the next challenge is what I term bootstraps, where that character is only allowed to obtain items through buying them. So he's not allowed to say pick up a Boston Bugle like that, or to loot from a corpse like that, or to loot from a container or to loot from a container like that, right? So any item only comes from buying and selling, which means that he needs to have the maximum amount of caps possible, which means having maximum charisma. He also needs to have other stuff and whatnot. So one of the things that he is allowed to do is scrap whatever in home plate, the place that you buy in Diamond City. And yeah, he is allowed to he is allowed to sell items, and he is also allowed to take jobs or to get money from doing things that don't involve looting. So he can say, for example, the Order Up quest in Drumlin Diner gets you a bit of money. You can get a bit of money from rescuing the people from Museum of Freedom. You can get money from doing Minuteman quests, although I would have to purchase the resources needed to I would have to purchase the resources needed to, say, build the generator and the settlement beacon. So he is going to be heavily restricted on what items he can have. The next idea, or the next challenge, is something that I would call the Hoarder Challenge. And the Hoarder Challenge is where it's basically where my character is not allowed to reduce the amount of stuff in the inventory. Although I'm not quite sure on how I'm going to do it. It's either going to be not allowed to reduce the amount of stuff in my inventory, or not allowed to reduce the weight in my inventory. So in this difficulty, stim packs are weightless. So if the rule is no reducing the weight, then I can use stim packs. But if I'm playing on survival, stim packs have weight, and then under the weights rules I would not be able to use stim packs or ammo, because ammo has weights in survival mode. But then again, in survival mode I would need to in survival mode I would need to eat in order to stay alive, which means that if I'm not allowed to reduce my weight or the amount of items I have, whichever rule I pick, then it would be necessary to take cannibal. Because if you can't eat out of the Pip-Boy, the only way to eat is with this perk. And then the last thing planned is basically just a fist only playthrough, which would make use of this and stuff like armourer, because armour is going to be especially vital in fist only. Rooted is apparently pretty good, especially because it tends to, I guess just up to there, but you tend to be stationary when you're in VATS. Rooted would proc if you do a VATS attack. Like you'll notice that I can't move at all when I'm in VATS right now. And by the way, you can, I tap that and it immediately gets put onto the nearest person, but I can also hold it down and it forces VATS. What the fuck? What? Oh yeah, they're going after blood bugs. Blood bugs tend to spawn around here and they tend to go after them. Okay. Oh, I can go up here. Okay. And I can also fall through. Alright, so now that I've completed the main quest line and there isn't really anything else to do. I guess I could go on a rampage, but meh. Huh. Okay, can't destroy that light. So yeah. I'm not quite. I do plan on having a short intermission soon so that I can have lunch and do other things, but yeah, so I guess I could host somebody while I'm in the intermission. Sure.